Peace, blessings, and love, everyone. It's your girl, Zia the Begum, back at it again with another episode of Real Talk, Reflection, and all things identity. You already know, we keep it honest over here. Today, I want to share something personal, what it was like growing up Pakistani American. A lot of people expect me to say I was rejected or treated differently for being half Pakistani. I think within the Pakistani or Desi community. But to be honest, that's not my truth. I want to speak on that. Now, this is not to dismiss other people who are half Pakistani or half Desi experience. This is my experience. Everyone's experience is different. Now, let's get into it. I honestly think maybe it's because my dad is Pakistani. In many Asian, Middle Eastern, and African cultures, your father's side usually defines your identity. I've always been embraced by the Pakistani community. I've never felt like I had to prove I was Pakistani or fight to be seen as one. I'm just treated as a regular overseas Pakistani woman. Also, my family loves me and accepts me and also accepts my mother. I don't want to get too emotional, and also, my family is very private, but they love us, they accept us. I do want to share one cute memory of my Dadabu. I was having surgery. Well, he mixed up the date that I was anticipating to have surgery. And so he and my aunt had been praying all day for me and had called my dad asking, about a status update. And he was like, huh? Like, where'd you get the dates mixed up from? But needless to say, that really touched me then and it touches me now. And yeah, I am loved and I am accepted. They don't treat me any differently. Now, ironically, the pushback has come from more how I'm seen or not as seen as a black woman. Again, because I don't have two black parents, I felt overlooked or not black enough in some spaces. It's painful to be made to feel like you have to prove your identity. Because again, I don't have two black parents. I'm not always seen or fully embraced as a black woman. But being black is just as much a part of me as being Pakistani. Side story, yo, I will never forget. It was the summer of 2020 when all the protests were happening and I was advocating for us on Facebook. And someone reshared and tagged me and thanked me for being an ally. I was so butthurt. My cousin joked with me and said, "Do you need me to comment and be like, good work, cuz?" But, anyways, when I look in the mirror, I see both. I see both phenotypes. I do think I look more Pakistani than black, but generally, I feel like I carry both identities equally. People have mistaken me for all kinds of ethnicities. Sometimes I feel like a chameleon. It really depends on where I am. In the Midwest, most people see me as Pakistani. Down south, people can usually clock that I'm mixed with black. I think a lot of it that has to do with exposure and cultural awareness. I grew up in a predominantly white town, another conversation for another day. I also want to briefly mention colorism is definitely a thing in Desi culture, and I will speak more on that another day. It's real, it's harmful, and it's layered. But today, I want to stay grounded in this experience of belonging and duality. But even with that, my family made sure I stay rooted. If anything, people seem more surprised that I was so connected to my Pakistani culture. I think especially because my mom is in Desi, folks would ask, "Is that too spicy for you? Or do you even eat Pakistani food?" And shout out to my uncle, who would always jump in and be like, "Yes, they love spicy food. They eat Pakistani dishes all the time." My two youngest uncles played such a huge role in keeping the culture, traditions, and religion alive in our household. I grew up in a joint family setup, which is so common in Desi households. Our home was filled with pieces of Pakistan, from curtains and woven baskets to traditional clothes. I love wearing Pakistani clothes, shawl kameez. That's my thing. I used to wear it on picture day just to feel extra pretty. There's something about putting on Desi clothes and jewelry that makes me feel so beautiful. It's a feeling I can't even describe. I would and still do feel like that girl whenever I wear my traditional clothing. Now, full honesty, and as you probably could clock, I'm not fluent in Urdu. I know. Don't crucify me for my pronunciation. I know I sound like a Gora, but I'm trying, and I'm still proud to say I'm Punjabi. That's my family's native language, and we hail from Punjab. Sadly, Punjabi is kind of dying out. People are discouraged from speaking it for silly reasons, but I love it. I want to learn more and keep it alive. Some people might also question my connection to Pakistani culture because I didn't spend my summers or winters in Pakistan. Inshallah, I hope to visit more and that changes. But my roots are still real. I know my mom, being non Pakistani, probably led people to also assume I wouldn't know much about my heritage. But both my parents made sure we were proud of who we are and where we came from. My mom, she really held it down. She learned how to make Pakistani food before we were even born or thought of. My dad even likes to joke that about the irony of how she's an amazing Punjabi cook and she's not even Punjabi. She even watches Pakistani dramas with us. And can we just have a moment of silence for the brown girl struggles? Listen, I share so many of the same things other Desi girls go through. The hairy arms, the thick, wild eyebrows. Ugh, we hate to see it. I remember being so self-conscious about it growing up. I was that girl hiding my arms or begging to wax my mustache. And you know what? I didn't even get the good Pakistani genes like some of my cousins. You know, the thick, long lashes that flutter like butterfly wings? Nope. Allah said, you'll get character instead. But real talk, these little things, as silly as they seem, are part of our shared girlhood. They connect us, whether we're laughing about threading our brows too thin in the 11th grade or secretly wishing we had our cousin's lashes. It's all a part of the Desi experience. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it. Not even the arm hair. Okay, maybe the arm hair. But yeah, being Pakistani is beautiful. It's a beautiful part of my identity, just like being black is. And I'm proud to stand in both. I know the world sometimes struggles to accept people like me who don't fit in one box. But I'm not here to make others comfortable. I'm here to live my truth. This is Zia the Begum, and the mic is on.
Zia the Begum, here to stay. In her softness, she paves the way.